All right, guys, so today we're talking about the knees on the serve, and we're not telling you not to use your knees, but stop trying to actively bend them in the wrong time. I think what happens is that we know that we can create power using the leg bend and we're using this jump, but we want to stop thinking about jumping and we want to think more about loading. So real quick, with what we're talking about, the incorrect way with the knee bend is that we're seeing sometimes this disjointed knee bend where people are actually using the knees to help the toss, and then we're standing up anyways. But the one that we see that I think is misunderstood, and it looks correct, but it's actually causing more harm than it is good, is when players are working through their motion and then really trying to sink down into this deep knee bend. It's not fluid and there's no rhythm to it. And what ends up happening is that it ends up also becoming disjointed from the toss. So how do we use our knees? Our knees are a byproduct of coiling and using the kinetic chain. As I'm working through the serve, as I coil my upper body and I get into this rotation, we know that we want to turn our shoulders on the serve, and tossing at 1 o'clock will also influence that. Naturally, as I start to uncoil, my knees are going to bend. When I get here, my knees are gonna wanna bend, they're gonna wanna load, and then I'm gonna come through. So the serve, or bending the knees, is a byproduct of this rhythm. We're not pausing it to where I'm going into a trophy stance and then I'm trying to load in, all right? So I think sometimes this is, kind of interpreted incorrectly because we see the Anti-Roddics of the world and everything else to where they got so low through it. That was just a byproduct of their huge coil, right? All right, so I'm gonna tag my buddy Martin in here. He's got a huge serve, it's effortless, he's got very little motion. We're gonna take a look and examine just how this knee bend is working from the coil. So Martin's serve here, very efficient, very fluid. You can tell as he's taking his tossing arm to a 45-degree angle, it's causing his shoulders to turn and coil. As this happens, what naturally happens is this shoulder and hip rear lateral tilt, and a byproduct is the knees bending. Now, he's not intentionally trying to get any lower than he needs to. He's simply just uncoiling. And from this abbreviated knee position, this bent knee position, he has plenty of pop without unnecessarily trying to create unnecessary force from the ground up. Still utilizing the kinetic chain, still loading, but not actively trying to jump out of his shoes. So Martin and I have been teaching together for a long, long time, and we both abide by the philosophy, less is more, definitely on the serve. We've seen a lot of big motions that aren't necessarily helped by doing more. And we see some of the bigger serves, yours included, by doing less, right? Yeah. So maybe talk to us a minute, just what are your thoughts on where the power source is coming from on the serve?
Well, it seems it's all just about like efficiency, right? For the most part, and it's all about like trying to find like a very nice like throwing motion. And when you find that throwing motion, like that kinetic chain that Nate always talks about, starts to work itself out. But I think sometimes if you overemphasize one part of it, it can get inefficient, right? It can be there when it doesn't necessarily need to be there, like the knee bend. You can definitely exaggerate and throw off your rhythm if you over-exaggerate one part of it.
It's like a misunderstanding of where the power comes from, and it's a rubber band, pulling a rubber band. We were talking about, so like when you've never seen a pitcher or a quarterback like try to get down deeper into a bend, they're just naturally using the body and they're not trying to overuse a power source that's not necessary, and that is 100% it on the serve.
Right, I agree.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps. Get out there, work on your service motion, eliminate that excessive knee bend, and get out there and start dropping the serve that you've been looking for. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, share all the stuff that helps the business, and remember, in the comment section, we left you a link to check out Play Your Court absolutely for free. We'll see you next time.